So welcome everyone to week 8. Yay, you've done it! Congratulations on making it this far. I want you to really celebrate right now. Take that moment to just celebrate your commitment for getting to this point, for enhancing your strength and moving your body and mind. You've done such a great job and it's been such an honor being here with you as part of this series. As we move forward, just know you can keep coming back to these videos. You can enhance the workout by adding more weight or by adding speed to your exercises. Always remember you want to focus on form and function first. So to avoid injury, you always want to be aware of how your body's moving. You don't want to compromise that form just to add the weight to the exercise or the speed. So stay in touch with how your body's feeling throughout as you move forward through this series. It's been such an honor and such a pleasure being here with you. I'm sure by now you're feeling a lot stronger and just generally more aware of how this body of yours is working. It's such a pleasure. We're going to hit the mat for our week 8 flow, and I look forward to seeing you on future series. So we're ready to get started with our week 8 workout. We're going to go right into our warm-up and into the flow routine for today. So just standing, turning sideways to the mat. We're going to inhale, hands up. Exhale, reach back and behind. Softening knees, inhale up. And exhale, reach back with the hands. Inhale, come up. Exhale and reach back. 2 more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, reach high arms. And then inhale. Good. And exhale, come on back. Stepping forward to the front of your mat. We're going to inhale, step one leg back. Exhale, come on forward. Inhale back. And exhale forward. So as we're warming up here, we're starting to connect to that low belly, to the pelvic floor, to our breath. Feeling the bottom of your lungs with air, allowing your rib cage to expand open in 3 dimensions, forward, to the sides, and to the back. Beautiful. Opening up wide to the side. We'll inhale here, up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, up and down. We're thinking about our feet. We're balancing our weight on the inner border and the outer border of that foot. We're thinking about turning our leg bones either outward or inward in the socket so that those knees line up right over the center of your ankle joint and align with your second toe. We're going to go inhaling here and exhale, reach. Inhale wide and exhale, reach. Few more inhale. And just opening up the side rib cage here. Exhale. Imagine you're long through that spine throughout all of these motions. So avoiding slouching, but then being also mindful that as you think of lengthening, you're really thinking about lengthening softly in between each individual vertebrae versus just raising the chest and the sternum and sticking it up and out. So we'll go through 2 more, really opening up through the side here. Last one. Good. Turning to face the other way, turning the feet here. Inhale again and step forward. So why don't we take those arms up and overhead? We're warming up our balance system. We're warming up the breath. We're spreading the toes. We're trying to align the earlobes with the center of our shoulder, or stacking the head over the spine, or chin to the back of the throat. In this position, stepping back, reach the heel gently down towards the floor. So you're lengthening the back leg here, the calf muscle through to the heel. And then we're going to come forward and open. So inhale forward and open. Easy motions here, following the breath. Just becoming aware of how the pelvis is stacking. Thinking of the pelvic bones as 2 headlights, and both headlights are shining straight out in front of you. Switching legs, softly reach that heel down into the mat. So don't overstress that. Inhale forward, exhale back. Let's go wider hands here. So opening up the front body and the chest, but also lengthening the heel down into the mat to create a lengthening sensation through the calf. You can even pulse up and down, but really thinking about lengthening here. Last 2. And last one. We'll go into a quadricep stretch, grabbing your chair, if you'd like, or a step stool. We're going to lean forward slightly so we can bring our foot up and onto the chair. And then thinking about our tailbone, just having an idea of reaching down towards the ground, but you're not tucking it under. Here we're lengthening out the front of our thigh, of the bent leg. And let's just do our shoulder circles here. So we're drawing up from the low belly while lengthening through the back body for 5 circles backwards. Staying connected to your breath. 2 more here. And last one. We're going to take the one hand up and overhead, add a slight bend to the front leg, and then we're lengthening from the knee all the way to our fingertips, but without pulling the arm bone out of the socket. The arm is drawing down into the socket softly while the fingers are reaching high towards the sky. Long through our midsection here, 1 more breath. Good, and we'll bring the second hand up and then turn just a little bit to face towards the back of the room or the back of your chair, and then come on forward. So grounding through the foot, planting, spreading the toes, level head lights forward, lifted, hinge, and place that foot up onto the stool. Here you can adjust your pelvic level. So envisioning it that it's level, the 2 headlights would be on the same horizon, not tilted. From here, think of lengthening from your knee down into the ground while you're pulling up through the front body here. Long through the back body and tall through our spine. Our ribs are stacked over our pelvis, and we're breathing to allow stretch to happen here through the front of the thigh. We'll just take the hands back, so opening up that whole front line a little bit more. Easy does it. Let's go all the way around, up and over, and up and over. So we're still warming up arm bone in the socket and lengthening the front thigh at the same time. Hand will come up and hold. Hand forward and a gentle opening. Come forward and off. You can take your chair off of the mat here. We'll just finish with a final stretch for the quadriceps. Grab the chair for balance if you require it, and grab the foot with your hand if you're able to. If not, you can go back to repeating that stretch here, long through that front body. Our quadriceps get so much work throughout our days, and we often need to create a little bit of length in the front body. So we'll just take another breath here. Remember, it's perfectly fine to grab a hold for balance so that you're not struggling throughout. Long through that spine, through here, lifted through the front. And we're going to do 3 low belly breaths. So inhale into that low belly. Exhale. Start to find that lift of the pelvic floor. Inhale. And exhale. So getting connected down low, down deep. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Give your legs a gentle shake out. We'll warm up the ankles. So placing the feet wide apart, edging side to side. Let's take our hands out to the side and just hold. Or if you feel like you want to have your hands on the pelvis to make sure that it's not rocking and rolling and you're truly keeping this in your hip joint, or in your ankle joints, that's perfectly fine. We're going to do 2 more here. We're feeling nice, warm, and ready. We're going to go through our flow. So we'll get our timer ready to go. All right, we're coming onto the mat, and you're going to go ahead, grab your weights. Coming into a nice wide position, turning the feet out slightly from our hip socket. You can grab your chair and place it out front here for extra balance. So a move you're familiar with, widening the knees over the ankles. But today, picture yourself long and tall, hands supporting if required. You're going to lift one heel off of the ground. Inhale. Exhale, strong pelvic floor, inner transversus and back body. Lift the second heel off of the floor. Keeping your weights here at your hips or out in front, we're going to pulse and up. What you want to feel is though the motion's happening at your hip. It's so easy to move at your knee, and that's a natural thing to do. So without stopping the movement of the knee, almost imagine as the knee were still and you have to find the motion somewhere else. We've got equal weight on the inner toe and the baby toe. And you're not super high up on your heel here. If you feel you need to, you can drop your heels to the ground, but this does get the muscles working in a slightly different way. We're long, our head is stacked over the rest of our spine, and we're moving an inch or two up and down. Beautiful. We'll place those down onto the floor, grab your chair. Getting ready for our chair burpee here, so moving right ahead into it. We'll find our hinge. Hands to the chair. We're going to take a breath, exhale, and hop. Hand will come up and straighten. So we're getting ready, placing the hands, adding a little bit more speed with our flow workout. When you get into that landing position, sometimes it's nice to pause for just a second and make sure we're not over-rounded or we're not sagging. You can go to just a step, or you can continue with the hop. Using your breath in some dynamic movement. Remember, you can always break it down. Inhale, exhale, and step. Good. One more here. And coming off of our chair. Picking up our weights again to a side leg motion. So we're going to bring the leg out to the side. Knee and hip are bending here. Our arms are going to move in opposition. We'll come up here, high knee, and then reaching out. So you can turn this into one move. Let's stay on the same side. As my hands rise upward, I'm not hiking my shoulders up to my ears. If you lose your balance, just go back to a slower motion and then regain it, start again. My butt is sticking back out behind me as I bend my strong front leg. You can just tap to the side for a more basic motion here. Last one, reach and up. We'll place these down. Grab a hold of your elastic. Coming towards the front of your mat here. You're going to take your elastic up and overhead, stepping back with your left leg. Lots of length through our midsection here. Small bend in both the front and the back knee, sitting into that front buttock. We're going to take our hands up overhead. There's a slight press out on the elastic. Bring them over to the left. Exhale and bring it down to the outside of your thigh on the right. This is an abdominal exercise. And of course, the arms, backs of the arms are working to provide a little bit of resistance outward to that elastic. You don't want to push so hard out that it goes into your neck. So we're going high on the diagonal, low on the opposite diagonal. You're feeling these muscles through here, your oblique muscles, that's what brings you down. And your rectus abdominis muscle here that curls you forward. We'll get in one more rep here. And then we're heading into our next exercise. Pick up the weights, we'll add a little bit of speed here. So we're going to go side to side on our mat, getting nice and low, getting ready. Take a step over. You're going to turn both feet to the 45, touch to the inside of your knee or the inside of your ankle, and up. Hop, step, hop, step. So as I'm dropping my body, I want to imagine that my knees don't roll in on me. I'm thinking about my fronts of my hips being kind of wide and open, and then a soft bend at each hip and each knee. So reaching to the inside, other hand can come high up near the face or near the ear. Want to share the load between the front and the back leg. Strong through your core with each rep. So side to side. A little bit of speed as you get into it. Watch you don't collapse forward. Beautiful. Placing those down. Turn your chair around to the back. And bring your leg back behind you. So we'll inhale here. Exhale, find our hinge. Left leg back behind. Think about open through the front here, but connected ribs to pubic bone. And we're going to lower ourselves, staying wide and long. I'm tucking my chin, lengthening through the back of my neck. So you could do this and just think of it as a leg exercise. But we're actually putting some weight into our arms to load the backs of our arms, our triceps here. So I'm lowering my weight and then pushing myself up. But be mindful that as you do so, you don't round forward. So wide, tucked chin, strong core. So you want to purposefully use the arms as part of this exercise. Drawing that long leg into the body, broad shoulders. We'll get in one more rep here. And press. Beautiful. Taking that off of the mat there, we're going to grab our weights again. Going into our wide legs here, we're taking arms out in front. Take a breath. Exhale. Draw the arm bone and the elbows backwards. Inhale, forward and back. So forward and back. So this is always that tricky part, that as we're doing this, we're not pushing the ribs forward as we draw the arm bones back. We want to feel our back body engage. We're not squishing our shoulders together. They're staying somewhat wide, but we are using the muscles in the back between the shoulder blades to draw our hands backwards. We're going to hold back here for the last 15 seconds and gently pulse and pulse and pulse. So working those back body muscles. You can get as low as you would like here in that wide leg squat. We're almost done. Come on up from there. We're going to bring our chair back onto the mat, turning it to face us. We're going into a side plank. We're putting our weight on our forearm and a strong shoulder. So you're going to be in this position down on the diagonal. Placing your arm onto the chair. Think of lifting up and out of your armpit pit. You can put your other hand on the chair to get started. Foot onto the floor and take a breath. Inhale, exhale, bring your second leg out. So you're imagining your straight line from your ankle to your knee, to your hip, to your bottom ribs, through strong armpit, and then hand can go overhead. If this feels in any way loaded to your shoulder, you take the same movement and go to the wall. So you would be standing at the wall with your elbow on the wall, but on a slight diagonal like so. Chin's drawing to the back of the throat, and just practice putting energy into the back of your shoulder blades to support you in this move. You've got another 1 second to go, and then we'll come on up from there. Taking that off of the mat, grabbing your weights one more time. Facing forward on your mat. We're going through a reverse row with our tip this time. So as the leg comes back, find your hinge. Inhale, exhale, row and tip. Row and tip. Watch what that neck is doing. It's so tempting to want to stick the neck or bend the neck as you go forward. So you almost want to gaze towards your toes, looking just about an inch out in front of them. High elbows here. Use that breath, long, strong, tall body. You're really working your hip here, your front leg. You've got to keep your toes active, but not scrunching or clawing, but just spread and wide and stable. We've got another moment here. We'll go ahead and place those down. Pick up your lighter weights for overhead press to finish. So it's our squat, overhead, and press. Nice wide feet here, or hip distance apart. Take a breath. Exhale, hands forward and at your side. The motion is up and overhead without popping our ribs. So we're strong and connected to our core. We're coming down. So we're going to exhale and press, bending our knees and our hips. Sitting into our heels, but keeping our toes super connected to the mat. Sharing the load between the inside of your thigh and the back of your buttock, because that front of your thigh is always going to be willing to do all the work. So you want to be aware that, yes, these inner thigh adductor muscles are part of this picture, And the muscles in the backs of your hip are also part. Being mindful of that rib to pubic bone connection. So watch that you're not popping those ribs throughout the exercise. Last one. We're going back up to the top, so hanging on to these weights. Wide feet here. Grab a sip of water if you need to. Make sure you stay hydrated here. Hands can go to the chair or out at your side, so widening those knees over that second toe. Taking a breath long and tall. Exhale, one heel. Strong inner thighs. Second heel's up. Sharing the load between the inner foot and the outer foot. We're pulsing an inch or so at our hips, trying to keep this out of our knees. Beautiful. Keep the breath going. Long and tall. Stack that head. Soft broadening of those collarbones. Deep connection to your internal core muscles. You've got a few seconds remaining. Your legs are probably getting just that little bit of a good quiver going on. Doing a great job. Come up and out of there. Placing them down, back to our chair burpee. So take a moment, inhale, hands up and overhead. Come forward now at our hinge, hands onto the chair, connect the bottom ribs through to that pubic bone. Watch we're not overrounding the shoulders, and ready, hop. So you're trying to hit a nice straight line. Sometimes it's okay, pause and sort of just think about what am I doing with different parts of my body, and then come back to it. So trying to become so conscious of how you recruit your muscles. With the hop, you want to land on a strong foot. You're getting close. Ready already. Taking that away. Grabbing your weights for your in and out legs off to your other side. So one leg is forward here. Getting ready. We're going to bring the leg out to the side, hands up and over. Back through center. And then on the high leg lift here. So wide and lift. Wide and lift. So really think here about, again, you've got to have equal weighting on your toe. You've got to be willing to sit into the hip on your front leg as opposed to taking this all through your knee. As you gain confidence with this exercise, you can keep the moving foot off the floor the whole time. But right now, let's put that foot down and really be confident that we're sitting in the hip and not just moving totally at the knee. Strong arms here. So you don't want to let them become lazy. They're part of the picture here. Beautiful. Placing those down here. We're getting ready for our wood chop. So stepping forward with the opposite leg this time. Find the length in the body here. Hinge and step. Thinking headlights forward, straight out in front of me. We're going to inhale up overhead. Soft press out on that elastic. Over to this side here. And we're going to exhale down towards our front leg. So exhaling around. As you do it, watch that you don't bring your shoulders up too high. It can be very tempting to want to do that. So try to think of this as an abdominal curl versus either momentum or just rolling through. It's not just like a quick motion, but you're actively using your muscles to bring the band towards your leg. Beautiful. Come on out of there. All right, we're going to go to our side-to-side tap down, grabbing our weights. Ready? Here we go. So side to side and lower. Side to side, lower. Whoop. Side to side, lower. We'll switch my hands there. So the opposite arm goes down towards the front knee that's bending. So there's lots of dynamic motion happening here, and this is when leg bones can start turning in and hips can start dropping and shoulders can start sagging. So we're so conscious of our center here. The heavier the weight that you're using, obviously the more effort will be exerted by your arms. So thinking about those level headlights, just bending your knees and your hips. You're close. Awesome. Placing those down. Turn your chair around and onto the mat. We're going to turn and face that chair. Taking a breath, find your hinge, hands onto the chair. Bringing our opposite leg back this time behind us. We're opening through our front, connecting through our center here, forward and up. So remembering that truly it's an arm push more than anything. I'm taking the weight of my body onto my arms. I want to draw the chin to the back throat, kind of gaze towards my chest in a way, or at least towards the floor. Watching that we're not sagging those shoulders forward. It's so tempting to do. And of course, as we keep our elbows broad, then it's so easy to want to pop our ribs. Beautiful, last one there. All right, from here we're going to go to our push and pull. So picking up our lighter weights, moving your feet out wide here. Take a breath, get connected, find some width. We're going to push and pull, push and pull. So it's a reach forward and then a drawing back of the elbow and the arm to the back of the socket. You can stay low or you can go kind of midway at 45 degree here. It's so easy to want to just throw those ribs forward to get more squeeze between the shoulder blades. That's not exactly what we want to have happen here. It's just an engagement through the back body. Remembering you can get as low as you're ready to do in that wide leg squat. You're really close. You've got 5 seconds to go. Almost there. Beautiful. Bringing the chair back onto the mat. We're getting ready for side plank. Let's put it to the other side this time. Beautiful. Coming down onto that forearm and really getting into a square position between your side ribs and your inner arm. So we're trying not to load heavy here, but we're being lifted like we have a harness lifting us up to the sky. From here, strong, stable shoulder. We'll stack our second leg and reach our arm up and overhead. Our core is active, so we're still in the mode of pelvic floor, transversus, and shoulders broad through the front body. Trying to align the head with the rest of the spine. This is one of those where you're not sure, just go ahead, look in a mirror if you're able to. Taking your long, deep breaths down to that deep inner core. You got 3 seconds to go. Almost there. And come on up. We're going to get ready for our last set of forward tips. So picking up your weights and onto your mat. Turning to face onto the other leg. So ready, getting ready to hinge and row. Hinge, whoops, and row. Gotta watch out for that alignment of the head in relationship to the rest of you. Watch as the leg gets higher that you don't arch your low back to do so. That can also be so tempting to want to do. If you need more stability, you can do this with one arm and have one arm on a chair for balance and support. We're almost there. Beautiful. We're going to head head to the mat right now, getting ready for our core flow to finish. So let's get going. We're ready to get it going. So we're ready to get into our core exercises, coming down onto all fours. Spreading the fingers wide, aligning the knees a little bit wide from each other, so you don't want them touching each other. There's about a hand width plus between. From here, take the time to connect to the position of your spine. So often things that show up, remembering bottom ribs sagging, so we draw those back up towards the ceiling. From here, the other thing we often see is a tailbone tuck, so we're creating length through our spine, especially down at the very base of your tailbone that's reaching up towards the sky. That position enables us to really connect with that core system. In this position here, taking a breath, strong shoulders, so we're getting out of our sag and softly rising up into the back of our heart, lengthening through our neck. Watch those bottom ribs. Inhale here. Exhale, we're going to slide the right leg back behind us. Bringing our opposite hand forward. Come in for 10. So I'm strong on my arm. I'm picturing a carpenter's level on my back that's not tipping right to left. I'm strong with my core contraction here. My front arm is stable. My fingers are spread. Moving through 3. Tucking the chin through to the back of my throat. 2. And 1. Thinking about lots of length. Go ahead, swapping to the other side. Inhale. Exhale, find your deep inner core. Slide the leg back behind, keeping those pelvic bones level. Lifting the leg from the buttock and the hip socket, not from our low back. Other hand out in front. Coming in and reaching. So we're strong and stable and connected to our center. And then our fingertips and toes are reaching back behind us. We're gazing down in between where our hands would be, so that we're drawing the chin to the back of the throat, creating that length. Last 3. Good, really connecting to this idea of the pelvis and the rib cage. Last one. Beautiful, good. Coming down onto the mat, you're going to grab your elastic. So sliding down, turning onto your back. Arms are going to go up and overhead. From here, inhale. There should be a small place for your hand underneath your low back so you're not too arched. And maybe just take a moment here, just gently rock onto the pelvis softly, just to unlock any tension. This is a small motion. Making sure you're not flat backed on the mat. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, find your deep inner core and bring your arms wide and out to the side, back to center. So you want to watch you're not pressing from your elbows, you're pressing from the backs of your arms. Chin is staying tucked and lengthened. If it's hard for you to maintain the length in your neck in this position and you feel like you're in a back bend, place a pillow underneath your head. We'll lift one leg up to the sky, so we'll lower the leg as the hands go wide. Inhale, everything comes back to center. Exhale, press, inhale, back to center. So you're imagining that the shape of your spine doesn't change. That's being supported by the core muscles. And you're just moving your leg bone in your socket. We'll do 2 more, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. So strong through the backs of those arms. And up. If you find that to press the elastic out, you're having to force really, really hard and bend and tuck, then you want to loosen your grip or go down to a lighter elastic. Again, connecting the idea of your rib cage towards your pubic bone, and then it's just a leg bone in the socket motion for another 8. So it feels that it's even as though the leg is lowering to the floor. It's also being pulled deep into the body. Last 4. Strong arms here. 3. Good. 2. You're getting really close. Last 1. Placing the elastic onto the floor, taking a pillow or a ball, and we're going to place it underneath our sacrum, the bottom of our spine. In this position here, envision that pubic bone softly rolling towards the navel and towards the top of the head. But watch you're not flattening your back into the mat. It's just an idea of length through the back body, strength through the front body. Inhale to bring one leg up. Now really connect down to that low belly. Your weight's on your shoulders, so balance to the back of the shoulders, strong through the core. Inhale, exhale, and we're going to bring our second leg up. Beautiful. So I'm thinking about curling my tailbone around to the front of my pubic bone here. In this position, we're going to straighten one leg, and we're going to lower it down gently, and lift, and switch. So I'm envisioning again my pubic bone drawing in the direction of my navel as I switch my legs. So as you're doing this, you want to be careful as the leg straightens. You're not getting rounded into your back, but you're finding the strength of that deep inner core to hold you in place here. Lifted through the pelvic floor. Last 8. This is great to really feel the effort across the low belly. If this is feeling like less of a challenge for you, you can extend your legs slightly straight. Watch you're not over pulling here in the hamstring. And you can do the same exercise but with a straight leg. So you've got another 5. Good. Exhale, 4. Make sure you feel the low belly, not just that grippiness here. Sometimes you just have to stop and readjust and reset. And last one. Good. Feet to the floor. You're going to turn a little bit to the side, taking your ball, placing the ball underneath your feet. One foot on and the second foot on, or your pillow here. Keeping lots of length in your spine, strong through the backs of your shoulders. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, connect. Watch you're not gripping the buttock too much to get started, so find that deep inner core first, and then press the feet into the ball, lifting the hips. Weighting through the backs of your shoulders. We're going to go through a 30-second hold to finish. Find the breath, reconnect. It's not a high lift, so I'm not reaching up high here. I'm just softly holding my hips up off of the floor on my pillow or on my ball. We're going through another 10 seconds. You can imagine as though the heels are drawing in towards the buttock, but very softly. And imagine strength with the insides of your thighs. Last 2 seconds. And then slowly we're going to roll ourselves down onto the mat. Taking that away here. Reach one hand or 2 hands up and overhead, out to the side, straightening one leg out. Inhale. And exhale. And one more. Inhale, reach and stretch. Exhale. Go ahead and lengthen the other leg out. Inhale. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Turning onto your side. Taking your hand out in front, reach the hands forward, up to the sky. And then gently think about turning your rib cage back behind you. Allow your head to come onto the mat, reach your arm out wide. So curling forward. We're doing this movement through our rib cage, releasing any tension that's built up. Allow your head to drop back. If you have a pillow nearby, it can actually feel quite good just to place it underneath the head. You're going to go one more here around, turning from my rib cage, following with my arm, and on this last one here, allowing the arm to drop as far as is comfortable without straining your low back or your SI joint, or you can take your hand up overhead if that feels more comfortable. Taking a breath in here and out. We'll go over to our other side. So coming through center, onto the side, and taking our arm out in front, and then turning that rib cage, head to the mat, arm overhead, and then forwards, reaching out in front, hand to the rib cage, turn from the rib cage, allow the head to drop comfortably, and then open the arm out to the side. And last one, forward, and coming back, and then either opening wide here through the arm or up and softly overhead. Taking a breath here. If you're straining your arm to be here, just keep it in a nice, comfortable range of motion. That's opening slightly and gently for you. Last breath. Coming back around. Either grab a pillow, a blanket to sit on, placing it underneath your bum here. Bringing one leg out to the side, sitting long and tall through the body. If you feel like you're slouching, raise yourself up higher. Don't be afraid to get up nice and high. Here we're going to hinge forward at that hip to lengthen out the back of the thigh, the hamstring. Hands can go onto the floor or onto either side of the leg. Take a breath here, inhale. And exhale, see if you want to softly hinge forward more without overreaching. So as you bring your hands forward, you're not over rounding to get there. It's a soft lengthening of the back of your leg. Might feel nice also to place something underneath the back of your knee here. That can allow a soft and gentle, lovely stretch. Last breath here. Exhale. We'll go over to that other side to finish. So with all of our strengthening moves, they're each and every one of them a core exercise, and they're also flexibility. So if you envision the exercises as both strengthening and lengthening in your thought process, that allows us to create flexibility through the strength training. But it is always lovely to finish with some targeted stretching. So coming back either with our feet out wide in front or cross leg, inhale up here, exhale over to our side. Back through center, and then inhale and exhale. Hands come out in front, soft round and open and round, rounding that back, up and open. It's been an amazing pleasure being here with you, and I wish you all the best going forward. Namaste.